Hello and good morning, friends. Today I want to talk to you about spring-fed wells. What are they and how do you find them? Super quick video, but I want to show you because I think it's neat. So what is a spring-fed system? It's going to basically be a house that is fed by groundwater, essentially. So for this particular property, we have a creek right over here, right? That creek is going to be what feeds the house. And how it feeds the house is usually going to be a spring house, which is just a little concrete structure where everything's kind of put. They have the suction line in there, which then will have a jet pump in the home that pulls the water into the house. How these were built was you would have a little concrete structure. As you can see right here, we see the remnants of one. And inside of that little concrete structure usually would be about 6 feet wide by about 4 feet tall with a little basin. And as the water from the river would work its way through, it would basically skip up and into that basin. And then that would be what would supply water to the home. Now we can see here that this old one is kind of falling apart, but the supply line is going to be in that mix somewhere down below. The jet pumps that pull the water from the spring or from the river aren't super efficient, right? I'm not a huge fan of jet pumps. They work. I'm more of a submersible kind of guy, but with these old systems, that's how they got the water out. And so as the water flows from the river, the pump will suck the water into the house, and then you just purify it and then, do whatever you got to do. The issue with this style is it is incredibly dependent on what is upstream, right? So if you have a whole bunch of mess getting knocked up into the water down the way or up the way, you're going to be drinking that. So you don't want to have any of that stuff in your body. So most people don't have this style of well anymore because of that risk. You also run the risk of drought, right? So right now in Maryland, we've been having a very small amount of water. We're basically in a drought right now where most of our waterways are down by quite a bit. And because of that, if we get a deep enough drought, your spring house might not get fed with water, and you run the risk of not having water in the house until the river rises a little bit higher. A lot of times this style of pump, you'll actually see the supply line in the deepest part of the river to avoid that situation. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but that's usually how it'll go. Most modern counties won't really let you use that style of well anymore. It's a well, right? They're going to force you, if they figure out that you have a spring, the moment you pull a permit or you go to do anything in the house, they'll force you to collect water samples. And if the samples cannot pass modern potability standards, then they'll make you drill a well, and that can get expensive. So I don't see them very often. You're only going to find those on old homes. Usually after the 1950s, the odds of coming across one of these is pretty low. So you're more likely to run into a modern drilled well or a bored well, somewhere in that ballpark. Maybe even hand-dug wells, but springs are always fun. They're neat. You don't see them super often. I hope that you found this enjoyable and interesting. Till next time, guys.